Hello, everyone, and welcome to Observations from the Fence Post. I'm your host, Robert, and today is a comic book review of the comic book series 10,000 Black Feathers. We will be looking at issue number 5, and this is the final and concluding issue to this story arc. Now, this story arc is part of an overall universe that is known as the Bone Orchard Mythos. These are the creators that I've talked about in previous videos. So let's jump into a review of this story as we are done. Okay, a little background here. The overall story arc here is there are two friends, Trish and Jackie. We learned this in a series of flashbacks. And when they were children, they met and they bonded over things like reading, storytelling, art, creativity. And they bonded so well, they became really good friends, and they started to create their own characters and their own story and their own world to put the characters in and tell stories in. And that really brought them close together, and they really enjoyed their friendship. Life continues, and like many friendships, they had some falling out, particularly as teens. And something horrible happened when they were teens, and that is Jackie disappeared. And the authorities thought that not only did she disappear, that she was likely murdered. So that's kind of the setup, and that part of the story is told in flashbacks through the various issues, because the main part of the story focuses on present day, where Trish is an adult. She is a writer, and she has returned back to the hometown as she's having these dreams, visions, possible hallucinations that are leading her to think that Jackie may indeed be alive. So she comes back to the hometown and meets up with Jackie's mother and just tries to make some sense of all of this. So that's kind of the setup. So in issue number 3, now this is an important part to the story arc, she meets up with a person who had been accused and arrested in Jackie's disappearance. He was released because there was literally no evidence tying him to the crime, but he was a person that was known to have seen Jackie on the night of her disappearance. So Trish meets this guy just trying to get some information. But at the end of issue 3, this guy is found by Trish dead, hung up, murdered. And whoo, that is a pretty good cliffhanger for a comic book issue. So then we get to issue number 4. Now, Trish is at a police station, and she is being questioned heavily about the murder of this man. In fact, you are led to believe that the police are leaning towards the fact that Trish maybe murdered this man, and that if he murdered this man, they're starting to think that maybe she herself murdered Jackie. Now, while she's at the police station, something happens. And what happens is somebody comes to the police station and starts killing everyone. Trish sees them, and lo and behold, it appears to be a character that she and Jackie created when they were kids. So she follows this character, and she realizes that she may have to go to another world. So this is where we pick up in issue number 5. Jackie has followed this creature that was created by her and Jackie when they were kids. And she has gone into another world, another dimension, to go on what we would probably call a quest. And that is what issue 5 is about. And it makes sense when you read the entire story arc. It does make sense. It doesn't seem as strange as me trying to describe it here. It does make sense, particularly when you consider that the Bone Orchard Mythos is all about the supernatural. So issue 5, it really picks up into the supernatural. Now, Trish's quest reminded me a whole lot of Stephen King's The Dark Tower series, particularly the first book in the series, The Gunslinger. In fact, that series was mentioned in issue 1, And I think it just influenced this story. I don't think it's a ripoff by any stretch of the imagination, but there's certainly an homage, and there's certainly a feel that you get that the two stories are very similar. Are very, very similar. I'd like to think of it as an homage, possibly to Stephen King's Dark Tower series. So Trish goes on this quest, and as she goes on this quest, she believes more and more that Jackie is alive. And part of her quest is to find this creature and to also find Jackie. So you have to read the book to figure out, I'm not going to spoil everything, but you got to read the book to come up with the conclusion. Now, I came up, as you're reading issue 5, you realize that this could end in a few different ways. And I came up with 7 different possible ways that this story could end. And of course, I picked a way I hoped it would end. It did not end the way I thought it would end, but there was 2 parts to the ending. I liked one part, and the other part was like, aw. Was hoping for something a little different there. But that's the great thing about reading, is we don't often know the end. Like I said, there could have been a possible 7 different ending scenarios to this, just in my thinking about it. And there's possibly even more different scenarios in the way this book could have ended. It lives up to the horror. It lives up to the other stories in the Bone Orchard mythos. It is a great read. I imagine this will be collected later on, all 5 issues, in some sort of trade, hopefully a hardback, maybe a softcover. But for right now, the only way to read 10,000 Black Feathers is to buy issues number 1 through 5. I'm a Stephen King fan, so the Dark Tower stuff did not bother me. Like I said, I think it's an homage to Stephen King's The Dark Tower. These are some great characters. They spent a good amount of time really helping you, the reader, care about Trish and care about Jackie, and even care about Jackie's mother. Okay, so you were invested by the time you get to this part. Overall, this is not the direction I thought the story would go, so that's kind of cool. But like I said, in issue number 5, as you're reading it, you kind of have an idea of the various ways it could end it. And the way I thought it would end was not the way it did end. But it was still a great read, still very entertaining. So let's look at, here's some of the artwork. Okay. This is a great spread, just the way it tells the story with pictures and the words. Okay. You can see this world is not probably a pleasant place that you want to be. Just like previous issues, when they do the flashback, we get the beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. So congratulations to Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, and Dave Stewart. You delivered another solid story in the Bone Orchard mythos. So thank you for joining me. I hope, feel free to watch the other 4 videos I did on this series. If you like this, I hope that you hit like and subscribe to my channel, Observations from the Fence Post. And I would just like to thank you for watching this video. You have a wonderful day. And as I end all my videos, remember, keep it between the ditches. Peace.